In terms of bills, one of the biggest things that I'm seeing that we have a chance to do, and it's all about choice, a choice and addressing the learning loss is something we should have as a top priority right now. In order to do that, we need to make sure that, first of all, the federal government is staying within their lane. And we have something called the Educational Choice for Children's Act, which actually does this. It's very simple. It forms what's called scholarship granting organizations. Scholarship granting organization has no oversight by the Department of Education. The only federal nexus is that it has to be a nonprofit, so IRS has to make sure that they are a nonprofit. And they can be put into any state across the country. So not only is there's no federal hands-on or pushing back, but there's also no state. What happens with this scholarship granting organization is that individuals and corporations can invest into that. They can donate and get tax credits. So just imagine having this pot of money where parents across the country can request whether they want to go to a parochial school, private school, whether they want to do homeschooling and have the tools they need. They can actually ask for funding to take care of their kids, because the parents know best what their kids are best able to do. So it gives them that choice, even in states that do not like choice. So it to me, it's a way to give the American people what they need. The federal government can stay out of it in terms of all the strings that normally attach, and just let we the people do our best to raise our kids. That's one of the things we're working on right now, and we're looking at how can we make sure we also show the best practices across the country, have a federal database that's here in Utah, we're doing something well. Someone in New Hampshire can take a look at it and say, this might work for us too. And we'll see how best we can implement those practices.
Well, that federal tax credit proposal that you mentioned is a popular idea among American voters. There was a recent survey that found that support for a federal tax credit that would allow parents to send their children to a school of their choice had support of 62% of Democrats, 77% of Republicans. So this is a bipartisan support from the American people for this idea. And fortunately, there's congressional support as well. There were over 150 members of Congress who signed on to co-sponsor that Educational Choice for Children Act that you mentioned in this most recent Congress. I think it's over 30 senators. Yes. And that's unprecedented to see that kind of level of support on the Hill for a federal school choice proposal. It passed out of the Ways and Means Committee, and we'll see what happens going forward. But definitely appreciate the idea that that there is some sort of way to expand choice so that parents who don't have access can, and so that parents in states who do have school choice programs can have even more.
Can I say one thing about this? This is why the American people have to be engaged, they have to be educated, because we can sign on to put our names on the line, but yet get to the floor and not let things go through. They just passed the Ways and Means Committee. It took a lot to get through there. Matter of fact, to get through that, they had to pull out the fact that corporations can now donate. So we have to understand we're up against still a big fight. There are people, there's ideologists who do not want our kids to have choice. There's states like California that's okay. And this is a study that came out in 2017. They have 75% of the black boys cannot read and write. They're okay with that. It's just the way some ideologies are. The fact is, when I mentioned ignorant and free can never be, we have to have an educated populace, and those who don't want us to be educated will take us in a different direction. So we have to make sure that we are making sure the American people understand what we're doing. I think that with, again, a Senate, a House, and a President Trump, and the American people backing us up, this could be one of the most transformative pieces of legislation we've ever seen in our country.
Well, Congressman Owens, this does have widespread popular support. It does have significant support among members of Congress. Who's the biggest opposition? What's stopping it from happening?
The same groups that we saw that did the worst to our American kids when we went through COVID, as the labor unions. It's the activists who do not want us to believe and understand and know how great our country is. Those who are against the idea of faith, family, free market education.